Good day, everybody. This is Emar Sopertu, and welcome to another edition of the Original Free Kick. In this edition, we will be catching up with Atlanta United goalkeeper and captain Brad Guzan as the team regresses through the MLS season. As always, to follow everything that we do, head to the mothership, the sportsinquirer.net, premier site for news and notes in the world of sports. You can also head to our social media platforms on YouTube, our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search us under Sports Inquirer. That's all one word. You can also head to our platforms on YouTube, SoundCloud, and more, and YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify. Head to those platforms, follow, subscribe to us, share what we have going on, and we would greatly appreciate it. And then just those are the ways that you can follow, subscribe, share, and see everything that we have going on. As you can see on our background, we are ready to, or hoping, and continuing to aspire to 1,000 subscribers. So that's a major goal for us. So we would greatly appreciate it if you help us work towards that. Okay, in this edition of the Original Free Kick, as I mentioned, we were able to attend the presser of Atlanta United goalkeeper and captain Brad Guzan. He touches on a myriad of topics, and starting off with the team looking to rebound from its 2-2 home draw against Cincinnati on April 14th. By the way, we are recording this on April 16th. So we were able to go to practice today and catch up with Brad and he gave his thoughts on that and much more on Atlanta United. Enjoy.
For Cincinnati on Saturday.
I think when you look at the overall game, our football was good. Our in other areas, in terms of second balls, in terms of attentiveness, and whether it's the middle third, the defensive third, even the final third, those areas can be better.
Okay. Anything specific about those things, or
no? Just that.
Okay.
Just that, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that IFAB is considering some goalkeeper rules changes about holding onto the ball and things like that. I was curious if you had any thoughts on those.
Listen, I've not seen that. I saw a tweet this morning. We need to try to implement all the rules for 90 minutes of a game, not just when we feel it's appropriate.
Okay, so right. That's fair.
Looking ahead to Saturday in Cincinnati, Lucho Acosta always has big games against Atlanta. What makes him so dangerous?
I think his ability to find just pockets of space, gaps in between the lines. Obviously, his ability on the ball is very good to be able to either pick a final pass, be in the right spot in terms of an opportunity on goal. He's a player that, as you're attacking, you've got to keep an eye on and make sure you're aware of where he's at on the field, kind of at all times. Because, like I said, at any moment he could pop up in these gaps, in these spaces, and he could hurt you with a pass or a shot, or just linking, their back line to their front line, and before they know it, they're running at you with numbers.
What has it been like to watch Noah Cobb really develop and grow in that center back position the past couple weeks?
Yeah, I've said before, obviously when you get game experience, right, when you're in these real situations, they're always going to help a player develop, whether they're good moments, they're bad moments, they're real moments, and those types of plays only help players improve. And so I think that's certainly been the case for him and has helped him grow rather quickly. There's still obviously tons of room for improvement in terms of his growth and understanding the game, but being in these environments, it's only going to help him continue to get better and be the player we know he can be.
How difficult is to find continuity with the international break coming so early in the season, injuries? Just how difficult for you as the captain and obviously the commander of the defensive front, just handling all of these moving parts as far as the roster?
Yeah, I think, listen, throughout a season, whether it's international windows, whether it's injuries, You know, I've always said we believe in every guy that's in the locker room, and you know, when those types of things pop up, whether it's the international window, whether it's injuries, whether it's rotation, whether it's you know, the manager's decision, you know, we believe in the guys that step on the field, and in those instances, it's no different. So we've got all the confidence in the world in anyone that steps on the field for us.
Commander of the defensive front should be your social media.
I don't know about that. Put that in the thinking box.
10 years ago today, Atlanta received Arthur Blank in Atlanta received the MLS franchise. You were in England at the time. I was curious, was this something that had even crossed your mind that you might one day end up being here?
Listen, in soccer and in football, you never say never. You never know what's around the corner. You know, obviously, when you see that, you know, a franchise like Atlanta United is you know, the city of Atlanta has been awarded a franchise, and there's going to be a team and a club here, and when you have the backing of someone like Arthur Blank in terms of his support and his backing, you know, things are looking up, you know, for this city, for the league in general, and so we want to continue to push those boundaries and continue to lift the bar of the league and of the sport, and I think we do that as a club and as a whole.
Last season, some supporters were giving you some stick for what they didn't like. This season, in my opinion, you're kind of having a best 11 type campaign. I was curious, just your belief, did you know it's going to take a bit just to be back, you know, like you wanted to be?
Listen, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's entitled to the praise, to the criticism. It comes with what we do. I think when you look at players, it's important that players have an even mindset, and when things are great, it's probably never as great as you really think. And when things are not so great and they're bad, it's probably not as bad as you think. And the more you can have a steady mindset, a strong mentality, a belief and willingness in yourself, normally good things will happen. And you know, that part for me has never wavered. I always believe in my ability. You know, that's perfectly fine in terms of the criticism that comes with my role, my responsibility. You know, the position I play on the field. You know, that's part of it, and I'm okay with that. And like I said, I've been very fortunate to be able to do what I've been able to do for as long as I have, and to do that, you need to have a strong mentality, because like I said, you go through highs, you go through lows, but it's never as great as you think, and it's never as bad as you think.
I know you talked to a lot of people, did a lot of research after the injury, the Achilles injury. Was 2 years, was that kind of what people were saying, is just to kind of maybe feel like yourself before the Achilles? Was that ever? No, listen, okay.
Our medical staff, they did a fantastic job with myself, and I don't want to speak for him, but I would say Miles too. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think it's not just down to, of course, there's individual mistakes that come throughout a season, and you can always point at, you know, X, Y, and Z as to why those things happen. But you know, it's a collective as well. You know, we win together, we lose together. There's things that are being asked of individuals, of players in the group at different moments, and it's all part of it. I've got to give a shout out to big Sean De Silva. He's over there. He'll be back. He'll be back. We believe in him. You know what I mean? He'll be back. Got a new hair color. Gives him more energy.
I'm just going to ask, but Gigi and Stian, we were told, trained yesterday. I guess it's got to be a boost, just energy, confidence for y'all to have those guys coming back too.
Yeah, listen, you know, we want all of our guys back as quick as possible. It's not just those guys, it's everyone. You know, the quicker we're able to get guys back, the better for them individually, but better for us as a group.
Earlier in the season, Pineda mentioned that he created a leadership team with select players on the team. I'm just curious, do you feel like this has been effective in really bringing guys together and helping between players and coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I think it, you know, when you have a locker room, right, especially different personalities, different types of individuals, you need to be able to give them platforms to speak and feel comfortable in speaking. Not everyone's going to feel comfortable speaking in front of a room for 40 people. Sometimes it needs to be a little bit more intimate and smaller numbers, which is fine. And so I think in that sense, it's been really good in allowing guys to take more ownership of the group and ownership of the team. And when you do that, I think it pays off with on the field, not necessarily performances, but it allows guys to take more on their plate when they're on the field, and that's a good thing. So yeah, it's been good.
Brad, I know you've been around this long enough, and you see guys like Alec and Miles come in, you know, that you played with before. When you look out there on the field and you kind of think back about that, you like to bring back some memories, kind of sometime when you see former players.
Yeah, of course. You know, you smile. You know, you catch up after the game. You say hello. Ask how their families are. Still, you know, you still keep in touch with them. It's obviously not the same as seeing them daily in the locker room, but you know, you wish them well. Obviously, for those 90 minutes, I don't wish them well. Of course, I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but obviously, I want us to win and you know, take those 3 points and move on. But yeah, it's always nice to see former teammates and have those relationships, and you know, it's those relationships are what make doing this so special.
Was Miles the relationship with him because he played in front of you and you guys really had each other's back? I mean,
yeah, for sure. You know, obviously being, you know, kind of the Lone Rangers from the beginning that were left, you know, having that relationship. Obviously, Alec, him and I had a really good relationship in terms of working daily. I've always said the goalkeeper group is like a team within a team, and you know, so to see those guys, it'll be good. It'll be a handshake and a hug, I'm sure, before, and a chat afterwards. But for those 90 minutes, it'll be all business.
Last one for me. Did the team bring Josh in? Did that give you a little extra? I'll show everybody.
Nope.
Kind of thing.
That comes from within.
Yeah.
It comes from within. You know, it's part of the business. You expect these things. To be honest with you, it's. You know, I've always said we're a club that we want to push the bar. We want to push the envelope, and you do that by signing good players in every position. And you need competition in every position. You know, it's our job as players to go out and show that we are, you know, able and deserving. And you know, you need to be able to help the team in whatever way you can. And you know, it's no different for the goalkeeper position. And so, yeah, that for me, you know, that comes from within me in terms of how I approach each day training, each game. So.
And that was Brad Guzan from Atlanta United, goalkeeper and captain of the squad, touching on a myriad of topics. I was the one who asked him about the lack of consistency on the roster with just injuries of Yogor Giacomakis, Derek Williams, Bastien, and more, dealing with that. And then during the earlier part of the season, there was an international break where guys like Caleb Wiley and Saba and more had to miss that contest at Toronto, which ended up being a loss for Atlanta. So I was the one who asked about that. I did coin the commander of the defensive front. I don't know what I was thinking with that. It just came. It was fluff. They won't put it on a t-shirt or put it on their social media. You got my full approval. I guess was it patent pending, or I guess I need to copyright it. No, I'm kidding. They could do whatever they want with that. But you touched on that also with Cincinnati, Miles Robinson, Alec, Kann, some former long-standing Atlanta United players from the first season, really. Well, Alec was the first official goalkeeper for Atlanta United, and then Miles Robinson started his professional career after college with Atlanta, starting with the twos, and he's part of the developmental program. Both of those guys have moved on to Cincinnati, so that'll be very interesting to see them come back into town. And just very interesting, very open interview or session with Brad. Greatly appreciate Atlanta United and Brad for their openness and allowing us to attend that presser. And once again, this is another edition of the original Free Kick. Thank you for watching and listening. As always, head to the mothership, the sportsinquirer.net, for premier news and notes in the world of sports. You can also go to our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And finally, subscribe, share, and like our content, whether you listen to us or watch us on our various platforms such as YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and much more. Until next time, good fight, good night, and be safe.